Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Ulster County Law Enforcement Center. This is another great day for this county and another great day for all of our first responders in Ulster County. The last 4 or 5 years has seen a tremendous transformation in the criminal justice system. You've seen medical assisted treatment at the jail, the IGNITE program, to better the folks in the jail so they don't come back and reduce recidivism. There's so many different things that we have been doing to improve the criminal justice system, but there was one part that we kind of didn't focus on. And today, thanks to our county legislature, our county exec's office, the men and women of this office, and all of our first responders who partook in putting this together, we're going to focus on wellness. Wellness for all first responders. So why is that? We have the highest, or one of the highest, alcoholism rate. We have a high suicide rate, as we saw that occurred here not too long ago. We see the great ills of society on a regular basis, yet there's no one there to talk to. I'll be honest, when I started in the 80s, we just go to the Hurley Mountain Inn afterwards. That's how we dealt with it. And that's not how we should have dealt with it, but that's how we dealt with it. In today's world of less communication, and what I mean by that is less human communication, we've let our first responders down. We've forgotten them. And it's time that we recognize the ills of this work, whether you're an EMT, a fireman, a dispatcher, a police officer, a detective, a nurse, a prosecutor, that deals with victims on a regular basis and sees the worst in human society. Yet we do nothing for you when it comes to help you out in your situation at home when you take all of this home with you. I am proud of the chair of the Ulster County Legislature. I am proud of the Ulster County Legislature and the chair of the Law Enforcement Committee, who will speak shortly, Gina Hansen. I am proud of everyone that's up here today, including the county exec's office, who all stepped up and realized the importance of peer-to-peer work to help our first responders. Again, I want to thank everyone for being here this morning, and I want to turn it over to our next speaker, someone who was at the spearhead of this as well, is our Undersheriff, James Mullen. Undersheriff.
Thank you, Sheriff. Good morning. My name is James Mullen. I'm the Ulster County Undersheriff. I want to thank you all for being here today. As many of you know, I've spent a significant portion of my life dedicated to public service, both as a police officer and a volunteer firefighter. Throughout these roles, I've had the privilege to serve our community, but I've also witnessed countless critical incidents and stressful situations firsthand. Each of these experiences has reinforced a critical understanding the mental and physical well-being of our officers and our first responders is paramount. The nature of our work exposes us to intense pressures and traumatic events that can take a toll on our health and performance. Today I'm excited to be a part of the creation of the Wellness Unit within our county. This unit will be dedicated to providing the necessary support and resources to ensure all first responders can cope with these challenges they face on this job. Implementing a wellness unit is not just about providing services, it's about changing our approach to health and well-being. It's about recognizing that our first responders are our greatest asset, and their health directly impacts the safety and security of our community. Together we can build a supportive environment that ensures every member of our team has the resources they need to thrive both personally and professionally. This initiative is an investment in our people, our department, and our community. Thank you for your time and support in this vital endeavor. Let us work together to create a wellness unit that sets a new standard for care and support within Ulster County and for sure across our country. Thank you. Yes, sir. So I want to introduce Juanita Hotchkiss. She is definitely been there to assist us in every step of the way to get this moving forward. And I think that it's going to be a great introduction here, so come on up and
I'm actually going to introduce Gina Henson first, and then I will be very happy to speak to everyone.
all right, so I messed that one up.
That's okay. Look, these things always happen, but I do want to make sure that we recognize the people that were a big part of that. A big part of that is the chair of Law Enforcement Public Safety Committee, Chairwoman Tina Hansen. Thank you.
Thank you, Sheriff, and thank you. I'm very proud to be up here. Each of you played an intricate part in making this happen. So, again, good morning. The Wellness Unit. For me, it started when I first went to NYSAC, which is the New York State Association of Counties, and heard about this issue. It was a buzz up there about wellness for officers and first responders. When I came back from NYSAC, I did my homework to learn more about it. I quickly learned that there was a state mandate in 2022 by the governor for wellness for officers without any funding. I asked about what our unit looked like and asked for a sit down to learn more about it. I learned we had one full-timer devoted to this issue, and learning that there are more than 4,000 first responders, police officers, firefighters, 911 dispatchers, EMS workers, one full-timer would not suffice. So working with members of the Sheriff's Department and beyond, we took our time and developed positions to make up a team. We wrote up a resolution, Resolution 220, and brought it forward. It passed unanimously in Law Enforcement and Public Safety. Next stop was Ways and Means, which I also serve on. Again, after a small presentation, it passed unanimously in that committee. And on to session, where the full body votes on the floor. It ended up in consent, 22-0, unanimously and bipartisanly. It was a wonderful feat. So now we are ready to roll out this unit. My stance was quite strong on the positions and doing it correctly from the get-go, not to piecemeal it together. Our first responders deserve this. It is timely. We got this resolution passed during Mental Health Month and Sheriff's Week. Often in government, things do not line up. This one did. I look forward to seeing this develop and the help it will bring to many, our deserving frontline workers. Next, I'm happy to introduce Juanita Hotchkiss, Director of Community and Incarcerated Services, Division Head for Wellness, who will explain a little more and about the position. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Gina, and thank you everyone who's in attendance and watching. Good morning. This is a very exciting day. I'd like to thank our county executive and the legislature, the entire legislature, for seeing a need in our first responder community and taking action. I stand up here with my partners. I have our wellness unit team lead, George Hill, and out here I have my partner, Lieutenant Chad Story. Ulster County has long had an incredible coordinated critical incident stress response system led by Cynthia King and our very own George Hill. Essentially, whenever there's a critical incident, a team made up primarily of volunteers goes out and provides on-site debriefing when an incident occurs. The vision for this first responder wellness unit is to create a comprehensive system that is proactive, that is peer-led, and will not only serve individuals in critical incident, but people who are individuals, first responders who might be struggling in any area of their life. We will be creating 4 new positions, one of which is a lieutenant who will serve as the unit department head. The other position is a deputy who will serve as our resiliency coordinator, and that is our peer-to-peer program coordinator. We will also have a community outreach coordinator. This individual will be working with not only our first responders who are active, but also individuals who are inactive, volunteers and retirees in the community, providing opportunities for them to connect and, connect to each other and also to our wellness unit. So our goal is to have a resiliency officer trained in every single first responder unit to provide, and a resiliency officer is a peer, to provide compassionate connection for one another. So to really provide an outreach that is proactive, to connect. You see, when we're in these situations, when we're in a peer-to-peer situation, you know when someone is struggling, you know when someone is having difficulties. So putting this position in place is really critical and key. We're also going to be providing a resource coordinator, and this is a mental health professional. And so the mental health professional is really going to act as a connector. So when our peers do encounter someone in their unit who might be struggling, they'll have a resource, someone to connect individuals with, who can then assess, help, serve, and make the proper referrals to the community of folks who serve first responders. This is a comprehensive approach. It is modeled combining several evidence-based practices such as FBI officer resilience, wellness model, and a traditional care management model to ensure that it is a full system of wraparound services. And I'm going to turn this over to George Hill, who is the team lead, and he's going to talk a little bit about the unit itself and more so why this is so important. So George?
Thank you very much. George Hill, I'm the coordinator of the Ulster County Sheriff's CISM team, taking lead on the wellness unit. I would like to thank Jen Metzger and the executive's office, especially thank you, Gina, and the Public Safety Committee. I'd like to thank you, Sheriff. We came together a couple of months ago, possibly a year ago, and we sat down and we started to talk about the discrepancies and all the issues within the first responder community, the stress, the trauma, the PTSD. And we allowed a seed to be planted, and it was really your support and listening and knowing and being a part of the first responder community to see how vital this is for the retention and recruitment of our agency. But last but not least, there's one thing that I definitely want to do. I want to pay homage to the CISM team. It was created in 1997 by Captain Harry Van Vliet. The CISM team will be the actual base foundation of how we run our wellness unit. It's an evidence-based. It's something that has worked in Ulster County since 1997. So I definitely want to give a big thanks to Captain Van Vliet. I also want to thank the coordinators that have allowed that team to grow, blossom, and become what it is today. So I'd like to say thank you to Alan Rao. I'd like to say thank you to Chad Story. And I would like to say thank you to Joseph Decker. You've definitely laid the foundation for a wellness unit to actually be built upon and used. So when we look at the first responder community and we look at the exposure that they're exposed to, the average civilian has 3 to 8 traumatic events that happen within their lifetime. When you look at the career of a first responder, firefighter, law enforcement, dispatch, they're exposed to approximately 150 or more traumatic events throughout their lifetime. So when you look at those traumatic events, that will have an impact on their lives and their families' lives. So when we look at the CISM team was looked and created and designed to be a reactive measure. What we're trying to do with the wellness unit is be a proactive approach. It's going to take a lot more manpower, it's going to take a lot more time, but it's something that is greatly needed for the first responder community and their families. Just recently, we had a survey conducted in the Ulster County region. And out of the Ulster County region, one of the questions that was asked was, how many of the first responders have contemplated suicidal ideations? A staggering number of 66% responded back to that survey stating that they have. That's something that this wellness unit is being designed and put together to address those type of needs. Because the impact of a suicide on the family and the community, the first responder community, is detrimental. So at the end of it, I'd like to say thank you again, Sheriff, the legislative body, the Public Safety Committee, for providing the resources needed to actually address these issues within the first responder community. Their families and the first responders will thank you for that. Thank you.
Thank you, George. And everybody knows your heart and soul is into this work. And we're all appreciative of everything that you and your team have done here the last several years, especially since I've been here. And I appreciate that. I was at the governor's mansion on Tuesday, and this was a topic of conversation by the governor's office. We're hoping that in the future there'll be state funding for officer wellness. As you know, a lot of local communities cannot afford that. But if you think of the cost of putting something like this together, at the end, we're saving so many lives and saving so much money by making sure we look out for folks that look out for all the ills of society that first responders do on a regular basis. I also want to acknowledge some of the folks that are out there, like Director Eric Erickson. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you and your staff coming out to this because it's important to all of us in this county. And of course, the team members that are here that are in support of what we're trying to accomplish here. I'd like to shift a little bit here to a different topic, and that was that of Peace Officer and Police Officer Week. And I'm going to bring back up the chair of the Law Enforcement Committee and the vice chair, Mr. Hewitt, if you're still here. There you go. And you guys can come on up.
Thank you. So yes, during May, it is a month where we recognize corrections officers and sheriff deputies. And sometimes we do this at the legislative session. It just did not work out this month, so we made this twofold, and I'm very happy to do this here. Everyone knows my respect for law enforcement and all that you do. So personally, thank you for all that you do. We have a proclamation on behalf of the members of the legislature that Vice Chair Hewitt is going to read now.
Thank you, Chair Hanson. Thank you, Chair Figueroa, for having me. And I'm honored to be part of the legislative body that helped create this unique and innovative wellness program. The Ulster County Legislature created this proclamation that is quite long, but I'll wrap it up with, therefore, we, the Ulster County Legislature, do recognize the important services provided to the citizens of the county by Sheriff Juan Figueroa and all members of the Sheriff's Office, and do by proclaim this week, Sheriff's Week in Ulster County. In recognition of Sheriff's Week, to Sheriff Figueroa from Peter Criswell, Chair of the Legislature.
Does anybody have any questions, or we're just going to wrap this up? Any other comments by anyone? Again, thank you all for being here today. Have a great and safe weekend, and thank you out there for looking at this event, which is really another major change in law enforcement in this county.